Guys, the Doctor Ratio light cone has been released, announced what it does and everything like that. So we're going to be looking over his light cone today to see, is it really worth pulling on? How good is this light cone? Not only to him, but to other characters in the hunt class, because I don't think you should classify a light cone by being just used on one character, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think that we should pull for a light cone that, is only good for said one character. I like universal light cones, and that's the main thing we're looking at today. And also the light cone banner as a whole. So let's go ahead and go through this light cone preview now. Dr. Ratio, baptism of pure thoughts. Let's go ahead and see what this has to offer here. Now, the light cone ability. So at an S1 is going to be increasing the wearer's crit damage by 20%. For every debuff on the enemy target, the wearer's crit damage dealt against this target increases by 8%, stacking up to 3 times. So what, that's a 24% extra crit damage buff on top of the crit damage buff you're already getting, depending on how many debuffs enemies have. That's pretty big. That's pretty big, but let's continue on. When using their ultimate to attack an enemy target, the wearer receives a disputation? What's that word? Disputation? I don't know. Disputation effect, which increases the damage dealt by 36% and enables their follow-up attack to ignore 24% of the enemy target's defense. This effect lasts for 2 turns. This is super big, not only for follow-up type hunt characters, which is Topaz and Dr. Ratio, but this also is really good for, I would say this is a pretty good light cone for really any hunt character, because first of all, it's giving you a lot of crit damage. Granted, you have to get debuffs on the enemies, which if you're running these type of characters, you're probably either running hyper carry or some type of debuff. Like, I think it's more beneficial to like get defense down the enemy and stuff like that, especially running someone like Pela on the team, or even running like Silverwolf on the team. I think this brings more viability to Silverwolf because you're able to stack up that crit damage as much as possible. This is going to be at max stack a 42 or 44% crit damage increase. That's a huge crit damage increase. It's not as big as, actually it is bigger than the Genuine Light Cone. Genuine Light Cone gives what, a 30 something percent crit damage increase? So this is a really big crit damage increase, which allows you, if you need to, right, is build more into crit rate to get your crit ratio more in check. But on top of that, if you have your crit ratio already in check, this is just going to give you a huge damage multiplier already onto that with crit damage. And on top of that, I love that they did this with this light cone, is whenever you use an ultimate attack, it gives you a buff that increases your damage dealt by 36%. That is really big, and it's not affected by follow-up attacks because they separated it. They have 36% damage dealt to any character, any hunt character. So that's a free 36% damage dealt to any hunt character you have. Just by using their ultimate, that's a pretty big damage dealt increase on top of the crit damage you're already getting. That's what you're getting with every other hunt character. If you use this on Topaz or you use this on Dr. Ratio, you're going to be getting the, of course, 24% defense shred as well, which is really massive for both of those characters. So I do like the light cones. They give, a lot to every character in that class, but on top of that, it gives a little bit of extra bump for Dr. Ratio and Topaz, but it's not completely useless to be used on any other character. This is a really good light cone. Like I said, it's a 44% crit damage increase, a 36% damage dealt increase upon using your ultimate. Of course, this is contingent on using ultimate, which, come on, you're using your ultimate, and this is also contingent on having debuffs on the enemy. If you don't have 3 debuffs on the enemy, you're just getting, maybe if you have 2 debuffs on the enemy, right, you're getting, what, a 16% increase, 1 debuff is an 8% increase, so I mean, overall, you're still getting crit damage increases as long as you're putting 1 debuff on the enemy, and keep in mind, breaking the enemy's shield will put 1 debuff on the enemy, so there's a free debuff technically right there with what you're doing. Yeah, I think this light cone overall is a really good light cone. I mean, it's just a really good light cone overall. I think for the hunt class is really good. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the light cones on the banner, because from what I saw here, I think, oh wait, where are they at? My bad, they're on the next page. Anyways, the light cone preview, perfect timing, only silence remains in Landau choice. So this is really good. I think this light cone banner is pretty good. Perfect timing is super good, especially giving this to, of course, you're giving to your abundance characters, but having your abundance characters run this, or most of them anyways, they love effect res. They love energy regen first and foremost, but they love effect res as well. If you're not getting debuffed or CC'd by the enemy, this light cone can come in clutch, and this is just an S1. It's giving 16% effect res, which can also help you get up to your broken keel amount if you're running broken keel to get up to that crit damage increase for the team. So this could inherently actually buff the rest of the team as well, and it's also increasing the outgoing healing as well. So players like Natasha and also Lynx as well, which don't have like super high healing caps, this could help out there, and Bailu as well, so she's not getting CC, so you can ensure like the revive. Really, I guess the only person I wouldn't use this on would probably be Locha, because I really prefer the Natasha one on him, the one that gives him energy regen back. I prefer that one on him over this light cone, but this is an overall really good light cone. The only one I really don't like is going to be only Silence Remains, and that's because while it does give you a 16% attack increase, if this only really works if there's 2 or fewer enemies on the field, which, I mean, I guess could work, but with how the MOC has been, there's normally 2 enemies on the field, and then they summon mobs in, right? I guess the only exception here would be Kafka, right? Kafka doesn't summon any mobs in, you kill the 2 side mobs, you would get the full effect of this, right? It's only a 12% crit rate increase, which is, it's okay. It's an okay increase to crit rate. If you need it, then it is there, but there is a pretty big prerequisite to actually get to this. This is not like a light cone that I would say you could use on like any game mode, like Memory of Chaos and Pure Fiction, because the Pure Fiction, there's always the full field of enemies, so you're never getting this. You're only getting the attack buff, but it's okay light cone. And also Landau's Choice. Landau's Choice is really, really good. You put this on your tank character, Fushuan, Japard, this works super good. You increase their aggro rate, you reduce the amount of damage they take, really, really good. I like this light cone a lot. Landau's Choice, I have this on my Fushuan right now. I could switch it over my Japard. I have Moments of Victory, but I use this light cone over Moments of Victory on my Fushuan. I think this is a really good light cone to have, especially for preservation characters. But is this banner a must pull on? Do I think this banner is a must pull on? Probably not. I mean, I don't think any light cone banner is a must pull on. They give us a lot of free to play and like, I guess like more paid to win 4-star options that are really good, especially for the hunt class, right? Because there are plenty of good light cones for the hunt class. Like, let's just go through here. The free to play light cone for the hunt class is Cruising in the Stellar Sea, which gives you automatically offer up an 8% crit rate increase, so it's already better than what this light cone can provide. Well, not already better, but it's very close, right? It's very similar. It's giving you a crit rate increase offer up instead of an attack increase, which I think crit rate is just inherently better than attack percent because it's a lot harder to get than attack percentage is, and it also doesn't have as much diminishing returns. This also gives attack percentage with a prerequisite, but you can get this up to a 32% crit rate increase, depending on what HPs the enemies are at, but inherently, if you have this at S5, you get a 16% crit increase, so I do think this light cone would be better or more beneficial for you over that light cone. Of course, you can only get one of these, you can have multiple of those, so that's an argument to be said there. Other light cones here, River Flows in the Spring is an alright light cone. Swordplay is a really, really good light cone for him. Subscribe for More, it's okay. Not really good for him, but Swordplay is also a really good light cone for him. So I guess there's not as many options as I thought in the hunt category for light cones. I mean, if you have, like, of course, In the Night light cone or any of the other 5-star light cones here, then you really don't need it. Me personally, I have In the Night light cone and I have the worrisome blissful light cone. I'll probably just end up using the In the Night light cone on him. That's probably my go-to for him. So yeah, anyways guys, tell me what your thoughts are. Are you going to be summoning on it? I don't think it's a must summon, but you might think it's a must summon. I think it's a really good light cone, and I think it could bring a lot of value to your account, considering it does give massive crit damage increase, but that's up to you at the end of the day. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the light cones down below. We'll have a super edited or more edited video tomorrow talking about why you shouldn't be summoning for Dr. Ratio's banner. So yeah, anyways guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Subscribe for the giveaway for Black Swan if you haven't subscribed already, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one guys. Later, bye bye.